All right, what is up? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Comedy's Dead podcast. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, people. All right, I am currently losing my fucking mind watching a dog. One of my clients' dogs that I'm boarding. She's very sweet, but she's a fucking psycho, and she's kind of terrifying my family. And I don't know if I can leave her alone and do things, so I'm skipping a much needed open mic set tonight. Not that I really have anything new, but I need reps. That's the problem. Is like if I'm doing fucking at least 5 reps a week, I write a lot of new. But if I'm like taking it easy, nothing comes out. And then I don't know. I feel like you just get to a certain point where you write a lot of new stuff, but then you all immediately go like, actually, this isn't good enough for what I want it to be. So then you don't end up using it, but you're like, see, I'm still writing, technically. I'm just most of it's not good. Why am I breathing so heavily? It's because I have a cold. And a deviated septum. Hello, Kona. How are you doing? She was, dude, when I fucking took the microphone out to record this, she freaked the fuck out at me. I kind of wish that I got that on audio. I wish I was recording for that, but I wasn't. Where are you going? Why are you going behind me? Kona, go. Back up. Yeah, you. Stop doing whatever you're doing. Hello, buddy. Hi. Yeah, I don't know. What's going on? I haven't recorded in like fucking almost 3 weeks. I decided to take the holidays off, mostly just because I've been like burnt out to like a very, very unhealthy degree. And I've been a little sad lately. Got that seasonal depression. Just have not been motivated. I've played a lot of the Spider-Man video games. I just beasted through 3 of those in literally 3 weeks, actually, now that I think about it. They were fun. They were very childish. I was infuriated with the writing by the end of them. But, I got through those. If you want to hear my other video game takes, I am very excited for the new Assassin's Creed released. And that was this week in being a nerd. Yeah, I don't know, dude. What else have I done? I don't know, man. I did the Chosen show at Laugh Boston. That was a fucking blast. Yeah, dude. Or not Laugh Boston, Comedy Studio. I'm at Laugh Boston next weekend though. That was a blast. What's it called? It was funny because like I think I had either the best or the second best set of the night, but what's it called? It was funny because I was like murdering with like 70% of the room, and 30% of them truly fucking despised me. Granted, right before my set, they brought in a bunch because it was like fully catered with Chinese food and stuff like that. But what's it called? Kona, can you sit still for 1 fucking second, dude? Where are you going? There's nothing over here for you. Kona. Hey, go that way. Yes, that way. Good girl. Go. No. Sorry, you just have to hear me babysitting a dog. Hey, buddy. Who's a good girl? Not really, but, it's polite to say that. Yeah, I'm being polite to you. Don't look at me like that. You know what I mean by like that. Yeah. Oh, you're not like, I'm not holding you prisoner, keeping you down here. I don't know what you're going to do upstairs alone. Don't. No. Get out of the trash. Do you guys just want to hear me correct the dog for the next 40 minutes? That's really interesting podcast work. Yeah, I don't know. No, but I had a blast on that, and then, what's it called? Yeah, and then I did, 2 shows up in Empire on New Year's Eve. That was very fun. The 100 first jokes, whatever. Yeah, Monday was my, my 27th. Oh, by the way, I had the worst bomb I've had in, like, 3 years, this Sunday. I was over at Kings in Back Bay, and, don't get me wrong, I have bombed plenty over the last couple years, but that was like I haven't felt that hated. I was surprised I didn't walk half the room. Like, that's how bad it was. I have not felt that hated since 2021, maybe, if not before. Like, it was that. Maybe also, a bunch of audience members came up to me after and told me they really liked me, but then they accused the rest of the audience of being pussies. Which was very funny. But what's it called? Yeah, dude, I haven't felt that like I legitimately turned a room that hard in so long. Um, you know, I will give myself credit in terms of I've gotten better as a comic where I would have completely crumbled when that happened years ago. And I only a little bit crumbled, but then I recovered. I went and crumble. I stumbled. I hung in the pocket, and I fucking my closer didn't get a pop, but it got enough where I could set the next comic up to do fine. Because they hated me so much, but I didn't. It was awkward, but I managed it, and I didn't like completely destroy the rest of the show for the other comedians, which I would have, when I started. Um, yeah, and then Monday I fucking turned 27 years old. Jesus Christ, like birthdays aren't. I mean, it was actually I had a very nice birthday. I honestly I worked, I went to the chiropractor and I did a show, and that was good enough for me. I just hung out with some comics I'm friends with, as in whoever was booked in the show instead of like doing something for my birthday. But it was actually it was very enjoyable. All right, I've been down in the dumps lately, and I had a honestly everybody was kind of bombing, and I had like a really solid set, and that was good. You know, when you like Sunday I like opened very strong. I did not have enough time to really like settle into a set, so I didn't really want to do like a bunch of like jokes that I didn't really feel like doing just to get them on my side. So I just kind of kept going with the fucked up stuff. And that was a wrong decision. I should have thought out a set, but I didn't want to overthink it, which is usually a good instinct for me, but sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you're just off. Yeah, so that didn't go great. But then Monday, I was just riffing a bunch, and did a little crowd work, got them, with that, and then I just kind of went into it, and I did a very similar set to what I had done on Sunday, but it worked very well, and that was a very nice feeling. Especially I needed that recovery, and it was my birthday, and I was like, all right, if I bomb 2 days in a row, and I'm already fucking miserable with all this seasonal bullshit, I'm not gonna be feeling great. So that was it was a good recovery. And then I just kind of, shot the shit with some people, went home. I guess I played some video games. I think I think I might have watched a movie or listened to music. I don't know. The point is, yeah, and then fucking, just did an open mic Tuesday. Did Capo last night. Had a pretty good set there. Granted, I was bullet, so they were still paying attention, because after the third comic, everybody's fucked. But when you're, like the golden spot there is number 2. Yeah, I had a decent set there. Not too much. I honestly, I've been trying to bring back like an old punchline that I was doing. I had like my closer. It originally had like a different punchline, and then I wrote a new one which is way better. But I'm trying to figure out ways to get both to work. But now like the old punchline just doesn't hit the same way. But I think part of that was because it was like a joke, kind of making fun of Trump. Or Trump supporters, like for whatever, making everything a racist conspiracy. Which one comic who I won't name accused me of being racist for using irony, which is why my set Sunday didn't go well, because they just took everything I said at face value. And it's like, is satire dead? Can you not be ironic anymore? Is it is everything a straight white male said gonna be filtered through the lens of I want to hate you before I get to know you, so I'm just gonna assume the worst of it? I don't know. But what's it called? Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like I fucking I'm trying to get that punchline back, but I did it on the show Monday and then tried to do it into the second one, but I forgot the set. I did the whole joke, and then I did the whole setup for the second one, but then, like, the sentence leading into the punchline, I did the lead-in phrase for the first punchline, and then it kind of killed my second punchline, which is about January 6th, which is my birthday, so I kind of fucked that up. And I did the same exact fucking mistake on Wednesday, and that's just pissing me the fuck off, because, both of those sets went so well, and they could have just ended also that well. But they didn't. So yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm fucking, I got no shows this weekend, really. Oh, yeah, I do. I'm up in Portland on a Sunday doing the crowdsource show over at Empire. And And I think I'm going to be back there at the end of the month doing the Dark and Dirty show or something like that. So that'll be fun. What's up, Kona? Hey, buddy. Come here. What are you doing? Why are you staring at me like that? Yeah, so that'll be cool. Yeah, and like I said, I'm at Laugh Boston with Gary Veeder next weekend. Very excited about that. And I think I'm at the Comedy Studio on Wednesday, and I think that's it for the week. I might be down in Marshfield on Thursday, but or I might hang out the Connection. Depends on if the Marshfield show sells any tickets. But yeah, dude, I'm doing fucking good. That's not necessarily true. I'm not doing bad. I'm just, depressed. I don't know, dude. I took a few months off drinking. Like no alcohol, just drugs for me. And what's it called? Yeah, so I've been back drinking, and like I was like always a lightweight before, but like Jesus Christ, am I like getting my ass kicked by like one drink? It's fucking brutal. I had like, where was I the other day? Dude, I had like fucking like 3 drinks a couple weeks ago. And like I like got like sick puking everywhere after like 3 drinks. And it was like my face was blue and shit. It was fucking brutal. Yeah, and like I was talking to one of my friends, and they're like, dude, like you have one drink and immediately start being way too honest and saying things you regret. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's me sober at most times. That's me on this podcast every single week. What are you talking about? I just have no ability to filter myself and say a lot of things I regret all the time. All right, alcohol just, it removes the hitch, but that doesn't mean I wasn't gonna say it anyways. I say it with a lot more gusto, but that does, I was still gonna make an ass of myself. All right, that's most of my time is spent regretting my past statements and actions. All right, that's how I live life. It's called being fun. I don't know, dude. I've been like fucking. Because I work in the city, and what's it called? I'm starting to think, like, when do people ever do real work? I feel like there's like 3 months a year where people actually work, right? There's like, right, because I'm just like following traffic patterns, right? How long it takes me to get into the city, right? There's never a lot of traffic in the morning between, like, I'd say March, there's no traffic between Memorial Day and Labor Day, and then Labor Day to Thanksgiving, tons of traffic, and then Thanksgiving to St. Patty's Day, never traffic. It's like people just take the winter and the summer off from actually applying themselves, and they work mid-March to May, and then they work Labor Day to Thanksgiving, and the rest of their lives is just spent faking it and hoping they don't die. That's literally what working in an office is nobody's it's most people are making absurd amounts of money to not do things. It's crazy to me. Don't tell me none of you are getting anything done working from home. All right, fuck you. All right, unless you have somebody staring down your neck. All right, you are sitting there watching TikToks and masturbating. All right, that's what you do. That's what you do when you work from home. All right, if I was working from home, I would be playing video games all day, waiting for a call, and occasionally and I would get one of those automatic mouse movers so they think I'm busy. That's what I would do, 100%. I would just watch movies and play video games, and masturbate probably 3 or 4 times if I'm wearing sweatpants. That's kind of how that goes. But yeah, and I would probably just write jokes. Or, try to punch out my old jokes. Dude, I need to fucking sit down and write more. Granted, I write on stage now because it comes out more naturally, but, like, I need to, like, at least listen back to more sets and just, like, fucking bullet point shit. Yeah, because I just have, like, a lot of shit that's, like, I don't know, it's funny enough, but, like, my old shit's, like, pops more. And, like, or not old shit, but, like, certain new jokes hit at a certain level. Certain old jokes hit at a certain level. So then, like, a lot of old jokes that I used to, like, be big pops for me, I don't do anymore because, like, the barometer changes, right? So you're like, well, I like that bit, I like the premise of that bit, but I need better punchlines for it, so I need to keep reworking it and just kind of think, okay, well, is there a way to do this better? And then, like, a lot of the new stuff you write, or you're like, am I giving up on this too quickly? like, if I like the premise, should I keep doing it, even though it's not getting a big enough pop, because hopefully I'll figure out a way to get a big enough pop, or should I just drop it because it's a waste of my time and I could be having better sets? It's like, fucking, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And, I don't know, I'm, like, getting frustrated where it's like, I'm, like, looking at the amount of material I've generated this year, and I'm like, I don't know, I used to put out a lot more, but, like, I've also gotten a lot better, where I'm like, alright, well, maybe I've only added this much time, but, like, you know, it's probably the same amount of time I added in my first year, you know? I don't know, I mean, I'm also, like, you know, I'm mostly doing shorter sets, so it's like, yeah, I've added this many new jokes that are at a certain level, but if I'm doing 10 to 15, I'm just going to fucking crush with the stuff that, like, I'm going to crush with the AA stuff, you know? Where it's like, if I'm doing 30, I can space it out and then have all those other bits. So it's like, but then you're like, all right, when I'm doing a shorter set, I'm doing a tighter, you know, more, you know, big bang set to fucking get them and show everybody how fucking cool I am. You know, am I like, I'm not working those bits enough, so when I do the longer sets, they're all rusty and I don't really remember them. And then you're like, all right, well, what was the fucking point of this? Yeah, dude, it's fucking frustrating, you know, like, granted, I'm not recording a fucking special anytime soon, but, you know, I wanna generate shit, you know? I'm like fucking 5 years into this now. Yeah, dude, so I turned 27 on Monday. Tuesday was my 6-year comedy anniversary, which is really 5 years, because I don't count, you know, like, spring 2020 to spring 2021. Yeah, I've lost 6 years of my life to this. And I'm still living in the same house, you know, sitting in the same parents' basement, playing child's video games. That's how we're doing. Granted, you know, I pay for some things like an adult now, which is cool, but not really. I hate it. But you know, it's still not ideal, right? I don't know, dude. There's like not that fucking, what's it called? I don't know. There's not that much going on. You know, there's the wildfires out in California. Here's the thing. I felt like this same way when I lived in Louisiana, right? Where it's like, on the one hand, it is horrific to see this level of tragedy playing out, you know? All these people losing their livelihood, you know? Like, all these people losing their places of business, their houses, their family memories. I mean, it's horrific, right? But at the same time, you're like, maybe if you live in the place where there's fire all the time and it catches on fire, it's not that crazy, you know? Like, maybe if you live in the one state that gets destroyed every 10 years by hurricanes, and your house gets destroyed by a hurricane, you should have expected it. No? I mean, don't get me wrong, all this stuff is getting worse and worse as you know, the climate changes and stuff like that, but, you know, you live in the hills. If you lived in, like, Compton, where you're just in concrete and a fire broke out there, you'd be like, this is shocking. But if you're, like, living in fucking Topanga, surrounded by brush, and the brush that catches on fire, what part of you should have been like, you know what? I should have seen that coming. No? I don't know. It's a good thing that, you know, what's it called? You know, the world's 5th largest economy can't, you know, fund conservation efforts to clear brush and to, you know, take the water back from the oligarchs so they can use it to fight these fires. No, it's good. It's good that we're allowing, you know, private business to hoard a public water supply for the largest state in the country. And it's good that, you know, they're not actually using their tax funding to, you know, protect their citizens, but they are giving it to, you know, Tesla. So, you know, you might not have a house anymore, but, you know, we're really funding some advanced research on some electric cars. So, you know, the 2026 model, you know, you might not have a house, but you should thank us for, you know, the upgrades that they're going to have next year, because it's going to be pretty sick. Dude, we live in such a broken fucking society. Part of me, the masochist in me does. Is masochist the word? Yeah, I'm not a sadist. The masochist, right? It's my own suffering, right? The masochist in me does enjoy just watching, the world burn, right? And I'm gonna be affected just as much as anybody because I'm barely above the poverty line. I think. No, I think the poverty line's like $23,000 a year. I'm definitely way over that. I'm almost twice the poverty line. All right, so when everybody, you want to insult me for my earnings, I don't know, dude. I'm fucking yeah, dude. What else is going on? So we got forest fires. We got a woman school shooter. Fucking win one for the fellas, am I right? Fucking, dogs on top, right? See, it's not just us, right? I don't know. I think it's a good step for equality in this country. That's really what we, because I don't think affirmative action is necessarily doing enough to promote all equal opportunities. I think it's good, I think more inbred, abusive fathers should teach their daughters how to use guns intelligently so they can, murder their classmates instead of just leaving it to their sons, Like, why are we not letting our daughters hunt as kids, Why are we not... I don't know, dude. I'm tired. That's it. This dog's been keeping me up all fucking night the last 2 nights. She keeps waking me up every 2 fucking hours. She knows I'm talking shit about her right now. Hey, Kona. Are you trying to sleep? Are you lying down? And she keeps waking me fucking up all fucking morning. Is there anything else that went on, right? Because we got the woman school shooter. We got the forest fires. We got, the Gulf of America. Fucking Trump said he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I don't know. I kind of missed him. I kind of missed this shit. I really, don't get me wrong. I think he's a horrible leader who's going to destroy, the economy for the future of our children at the behest of making the same people rich that the last fucking 20 presidents have done so for. But, basically everybody before, I don't know, about 20, right? Everybody, FDR on, and even him. But really, basically everybody, right? Every president has just, worked for the ruling class, but it's gotten worse since Nixon. And technically Kennedy, because he removed the marginal wealth tax. It doesn't matter. All right, some of us read. But dude, I miss that funny shit. Saying Canada's gonna become the 51st state. It's like, you do know they have provinces, right? Like, you do know. There's like, I don't even know how many, right? Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Ontario, Alberta, Quebec, British Columbia, the Yukon territories, right? So they have like 8 provinces of their own. So that wouldn't be 51st state. It'd be up to 58 then. And then, you want to buy Greenland. So then we're up to 59. Now you got to get a round number, right? So it's like, okay, Puerto Rico or Guam, or you can have Puerto Rico and Guam. We're up to 61 states. Roger Maris, you need a round number. Right, so now we're going to have to invade some other places just to get a cool number. What do we want that number to be? 62, 63, that's kind of, because it's multiples of 3. I mean, where does this end? Did we just bring in parts of Mexico, like the cool parts? Should we just, like, start taking islands, but islands have non-whites. I don't think they're going to want them, Maybe add Haiti. That way, it's Americans eating dogs. Dude, these people are so fucking stupid. They really are. Look, we can't fund the Department of Education because they're exposing our children to knowledge that might conflict with our schemes for world domination. But we can buy Greenland. I don't know. I swear, I don't try to be political. I'm not political, alright? Because I don't support any of these fucks. Unless they're, doing doing shit I like, which neither of them are doing. So, it's more just pointing out how everybody's wrong. Except me. How would I fix the world? Well, no. Look, I have no solutions. I can point out what's stupid, but I have no solutions, right? Yeah, dude, I don't know. I was thinking the other day, technically, every homeless person in Boston is a grieving Jew, if you think about it, right? Right? Because all winter they just sit and shove all right, hey-o, people. That was stupid. That might be a new joke. Who knows? Dude, I was thinking recently about, like, the fucking... Remember a couple years ago during COVID where, like, all the homeless people had masks, And I was just thinking, like, don't get me wrong, right? I think, we should protect them from a global pandemic, but, like, I feel like being out in the freezing cold all winter is probably worse for your immune system, Right? Do you not want them to get COVID, or do you not want them to give us COVID, Like, what about... Right, if their health matters, then what about drug treatment or mental health treatment or houses? Right? Or it's a real Band-Aid on the issue, no? That's just a real, hey, we gave them masks so we can tell ourselves we're good people thing. It's not actually, but then if you actually try to help the problem and go, hey, here's a building where it's a hotel where it's 60% vacant all the time, so we'll let them stay there, and then people are like, well, we're not doing that either. It's like, well, what? We closed all the institutions, so we can't just put the mentally ill in the institutions. It's also illegal in most states now. What is your option? What is the answer here? I don't think it's actually illegal in most states. It's definitely illegal here. In some case, unless they're like an extreme threat to others. But yeah, I don't know, dude. That was Reagan. All right, these people talk about government overspending, and then they complain about the homeless problem. It's like, yeah, the person who started the government's overspending thing closed all the institutions that we used to put them in. All right, you fucking morons. I don't know. Is this funny? Do you guys like me? 2312, what does that mean? I don't know. I'm looking at my topics list, alright? Let's see. Do I have anything else, really? We're almost at 30 minutes, alright? I changed my goal from 40 to 30 minutes, and I was going way over 40, but now I'm just sitting at 30. I'm trying not to retread the same topics I do every fucking week. I'm still planning my fucking Europe trip there. I think I've settled on... it's definitely going to be London, and it's going to be one place in England after London. I'm not sure. I was thinking maybe York, because it's not far from... was it Lindisfarne Monastery, which is where the Vikings landed when they invaded, and there's like a whole museum there and shit. I want to go to Stonehenge. I'm definitely doing Paris. I think I'm going to do... what is it? It's a village in Normandy where William the Conqueror's castle was, and it's also like right at the bay where the D-Day landings were. So that'd be two birds, one stone type thing. And then I think I'm gonna go to Reims, which is where the French kings were crowned. And there's a church that's like very similar to Notre Dame, and then Notre Dame, and then I think I'm gonna go to Beaune or Dijon, then go to Lille, and then maybe Antwerp or what was the other place in Belgium I was thinking of? Yeah, somewhere else in Belgium, and then I'm definitely going to Amsterdam after that, and then flying from Amsterdam to Dublin. It'll be cool, man. Like, I'm really excited about it. But I don't, we'll see. I'm thinking about booking Vegas for the Sphere again, but I really don't want to go to Vegas again. But, So, I gotta figure my shit out. I fucking, dude, I was bombed on New Year's, right? I was torn between, going to New Orleans for Billy Strings. Dude, also the fucking, the terrorist attack in New Orleans. Alright, I got another topic to talk about. Dude, you really had to go Throwback Thursday on Tuesday. You know, he couldn't even wait for the Thursday for the throwback. You know, real early 2000s of you with the Islamic terror attack. You know. Speaking, so we're back on Islamic terror, and now we have a woman school shooter. All right, white men are up right now, or we are making a comeback, dude. All right, we are rebuilding our PR. You know, after years being blamed for every problem, right? We got a white man killing the healthcare guy. You know, the government calls him a terrorist. Everybody else is calling him a hero. You know, and now we got a lone wolf lady, you know, I don't know what you call a lady Sigma, a Sigma female, and then you know, and then we got the Muzzies back doing terror. All right, dude, the boys are up. All right, we are gonna save this country. I don't know, dude. Dude, what else could white men do to save the day? I know everybody's been thinking it for so long. We need Whitey to come back and instill order. Jesus Christ. The worst part is those people are actually gonna fucking think that shit. You know? That's I don't go on Facebook, but I assume that's what people are saying on Facebook right now. You know? It's like, immigration's out of a... Yeah, here's what's funny is when some of these things happen is like whenever like the shooter is like a former or like the terrorist, is because you get like a lot of like former U.S. troops who convert to Islam or were Muslim before, who see all the horrible things we do to innocent people in those countries, right? And then they they try to enact it on our own citizens to prove whatever point they have that you can heal violence with more violence. I guess I don't fucking know. What's it called? Whenever that shit happens, everybody goes from like, because like all, the big, all of my identity is hidden behind supporting the troops. They kind of go silent on that stuff, when it's like, yeah, this dude lost his mind to CTE from constantly sitting through, shelling bombardments, plus PTSD on top of that from all the fucking horrific things they've done and seen over there, It's like, well, the government shouldn't be paying for anybody's health care, so we're not going to support them. Or they're like, we should only ever support the troops' health care, Or it's like, I feel like we're not really approaching the issue here, which is in general mental health, It's like clearly all these people are fucking sick in the head, like the Luigi guy, as much as we all want to joke about him being a hero and being so handsome and stuff, granted, I don't know if I believe the official reports on that, right? The amount of time it would have taken him to bike up to fucking 87th Street or whatever it was, just doesn't make any sense. And, like the changes in outfits and like the fact that somehow the McDonald's cashier figured out that was him through that one blurry photo where he has different eyebrows. All that shit is fishy to me, but like, at the end of the day, this guy was clearly mentally crumbling for years, and many people said this. He hadn't talked to his family since like February or something like that, but it took his mom until November to file a missing persons report and shit like that. I mean, it's a lot of weird shit where you're just like, all these like school shooters and stuff like that, where you're just like, clearly the mental health treatment in this country is inadequate, and it's kind of not a fucking secret, that we kind of closed all the asylums in the 80s. Granted, not all of them, but we definitely scaled back. We made it illegal to like just institutionalize people off the rip. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these people, I don't know. I think it's a complex thing. I don't think most people are that. I mean, it comes down to the nature versus nurture thing, right? Like you'll have like entire families where they're like raised separately and they all succumb to the same mental illness, and where you're like, well, clearly this is some of this is like within your genes, but then some of it's just like, you gotta think that society turns into people into a lot of these things, like they say like borderline personality disorder, that stems from your environment and can be treated. Like there's people who had it when they were younger and are completely fine after a certain age because they've worked through their bullshit. Like this. So that's the argument right now with legalizing psychedelics, and it's kind of funny how they're using the troops is like they're they're pointing at. I'm bothered by how we talk about psychedelics now, right? Where it's like, if you look up like the benefits of psychedelics online, it's like you can have professional development, you can like work through your hitches in your career, and it's working through your depression and anxiety. And don't get me wrong, I think I think there's a lot of great benefits from psychedelics, but using them for professional development and using them strictly in a clinical sense to work through wherever you're going through mentally is so limiting to the power of them, because what it was originally about was expanding your consciousness, right? Expanding your sense of awareness, right? The depth that with which you're able to perceive the world, right? So if you're basically able to see life on a deeper level, you let go of your trivial anxieties and your hang-ups on things that you don't have control over, and then you work through shit. But you don't just use it to, like, I mean, you can. I'm not against being like, hey, I want to work through this thing. I'm going to, set an intention. I'm going to work through that, right? But if you're shutting yourself off to the greater potential of that experience, you're never really going to go deep. You're never really going to understand the deeper benefits of them, It's like they're trying to brand psychedelics in a way where they can minimize its potential to disrupt society by making people see through our materialistic culture, right? So if you just make it an intentional thing where you're ignoring all this bigger picture stuff and you're just looking at your own self and you're just looking at your career development and you're just working through these things, you're shutting yourself off to like the greater potential of these things, which is like I do acid a lot, but I'm really I'm very I'm a lot less frequent with things like mushrooms, DMT, peyote, mescaline, things like that, because they're entheogens, which means like in indigenous cultures, they're considered to put you in contact with greater consciousnesses. Like actually, like there is a consciousness embodied within the substance, which LSD is not that. Because what acid essentially does is it connects neural pathways that don't normally communicate. So when you're like a child, your whole brain is active, and as you grow up, the processes in which your brain is able to go through slowly like shrink and minimize to what essentially composes the problem-solving brain, in order to basically be a functional human being, right? If you were just fucking like in a baby's level of wonder at the world 24/7, you wouldn't be able to survive. You wouldn't be able to feed yourself. You wouldn't be able to hunt, gather, find shelter, anything like that. You would just be, stumbling around like a child. So you need to minimize those things, right? But what acid does is it opens that valve to a lot of those things that, like remember the wonder you looked at like a rock as a kid when you looked into the depth of the crevices of all the different colors and how the light reflects against them, or like overturning that rock and discovering all the bugs under there and staring at blades of grass and seeing, how infinite it all is, and looking at a tree and whatever, seeing like the reflections of the sun through the leaves and stuff like that. So it basically just refreshes your childlike state of mind and makes you go like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like I remember when the world felt like this, and then you filter that experience through what you are as an adult, and it brings you back to the essentials of life and looking through, your social conditioning to what supposedly matters and going, okay, well, these are the necessities, and this is what, is going to make me feel fulfilled in my soul, whereas, mushrooms, it feels like, there's like this grounded, mellow, feminine presence that's, kind of weighs over you, and you're seeing yourself reflected in, the world and how you're just a part of like a bigger whole and something and things like that, and mescaline peyote. They have it's called Grandfather in the Native American Church, which I have been invited to join. It's a whole thing, guys. We don't have time to get into the fact that I have a shaman and things like that. Whatever. I could become a medicine person, actually. They are willing to train me as a medicine person. That'd be cool. I don't mean like a doctor. Different thing. But it would be funny to get on stage and start calling myself a medicine man. Is that appropriation? Well, no, if it's, not, if you're part of a church run by Native Americans, I don't think it is. I think it just makes you one of them. What's it called? But yeah, so, mescaline peyote it's the grandfather presence, and, it's this, a wise masculine presence, that, makes me feel really assured and things like that. DMT's definitely, ayahuasca, which DMT is the active component, is, considered you meet Mother Ayahuasca. DMT is a little bit deeper. You meet all these different entities, but, at the end of the day, it's all, basically, your ego is your center of your universe, right? So, before the psychedelic experience, for most people, no matter how much you have empathy for other people, you see yourself as the center of your universe, right? And it's just this process of continually, gradually letting go of things, and you don't need drugs, meditation can do the same thing, whatever, but, it's working through, you get through you have this experience, when you first start doing psychedelics, you have this experience, and you're like, wow, I see life on a deeper level. Then you start going, well, now I'm better than everybody because I see life on a deeper level, and then you realize you're full of shit with that, and you work through that, and then you go, okay, well, now I'm better than these other people who think they're better than all these other people, and then it's continually working through that. But everybody you'll never get rid of your ego, right? None of us are ever gonna reach true enlightenment, so it's just this continuing process of just trying to get deeper and deeper within yourself, and it's going to be turtles all the way down, you're never going to have a real answer, every answer opens another door and another new question, so, yeah, it's just like that, but yeah, if you're just looking at it as, I want to work through my depression, and I want to figure out my next career steps, you're never really working through and confronting yourself on a deeper level, or just, the troops want to get through their PTSD, but, when you're really looking at, okay, what are, my motivation systems, and how are they molded by society, and, how are they molded by my environment, and then you start looking at all those other things and changing your life and your behaviors on those patterns, that's really disruptive for society if everybody's like, hey, I don't really need a lot of wealth. Hey, I don't really need this sort of thing or that sort of thing. I want to, be on this path to, my own true enlightenment and not whatever society tells me to do. That's where we run into problems, Not everybody can drop out and be a hippie. Let's be realistic, If we all did that, society wouldn't operate. Unless we found a way to, truly turn everybody on and everybody's living on communes and whatever, but then, that it wouldn't work. That's all I'm saying. We need some people to be unenlightened. I really think that. We need to reserve it for the select few. I'm kidding. Well, not entirely. You get my point. But, I don't know, man. But yeah, it kind of annoys me. I don't really have that much else to say, We can get to other things next week, right? We're already at 45 minutes. I think we've gone, we've learned a lot about each other. We've gotten somewhere. What's it called? Yeah. I don't know. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. I will be doing my thing at Empire on Tuesday. Or Tuesday on Sunday. I do have shows early next week. I don't have any shows Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday I'll be at the studio. I might have an episode out by then. Next weekend I'll be at Left Boston. I'll definitely have an episode out by then, so I will re-promote it then. Everybody have a good week. I hope the people in California are okay. I hope the billionaire family who own most of the water in California, die in the fire, and the water is returned to the people and to the state, so they can actually, put the fires out, and, quench the thirst of the people who need it, instead of using it to fill the pockets of a bunch of fucking billionaires. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody have a good week, and I'll see you later. Peace.